Hey, hey, AJ.
What up, Steve? I just call
What?
you Steve.
What?
I was gonna say what up, man. I was gonna say Steve IRE
Who?
says
Oh,
Sony are weird these days when it comes to just putting shit out there. And what he's referencing is the Gran Turismo 7 state of play. And yeah, it was kind of an interesting one, right? It was kind of just like, here's the weather and in the game, and here's the stuff that you already expect to kind of be. And
yeah.
it wasn't the flashiest of demonstrations there. Isn't that right, Steve?
I mean, it certainly wasn't
Can I
Jimmy.
just call you Steve from now on?
Jimmy John. I'm
Oh,
so
we'll get to Jimmy. Don't you worry.
I'm so
We got
glad.
plenty of Jimmy.
I'm so
for
glad you
today's episode.
clarified, man. I was like, who the fuck is Steve? What a weird way to start the show. But can we start the show?
We have a lot of Steves, and let's start the show, Steve.
This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you're watching it now, you might be watching it live. If you're not, then thank you so much for leaving comments and thinking that you're watching it live. It makes my heart 3 times bigger than the normal Grinch's heart. If you don't like looking at us and staring at us and making weird faces and shit for the next hour, don't forget, you can always listen to the show over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and streaming services of your choice. My name is Brian Paul from the show right here, PSVR Without Parole, and that guy over here, AJ from Underground, PSVR Underground.
What is up, Brian? What is up, Steve and Gamecats? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. And I hope you guys are ready, because we are going to grab you and then hump you full of all the PSVR goodness you can handle till you beg us to stop. Say the safe word. What's the safe word? Steve? Is Steve the new safe word?
Poodle.
Poodle.
God, I mean, it's a good thing we got a bunch of consenting adults here, man. This is a very strange way to start the show. We got Professor Lilith with the $5 tip, says, back by popular acclaim for the February 2nd Sunday multiplayer. Zenith, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as if we're not already all in there all the time anyway. But awesome. Dude, it's so good to see that Professor Lilith is feeling better. Welcome back. Thank you for the donation, and thank you for hosting the Sunday multiplayer event. Remember, if you want to get in on Zenith with the rest of us, I mean, it's not that hard. Just go to Wave Rider East, and you'll probably run into a ton of cats. But if you want to coordinate some shit, you want to make sure you get into the Gamecat dojo, get on Discord. Click the link in the description below. Join us over there, and that is where we coordinate pretty much everything. Isn't that right, Steve?
Mr. Gamecat Canaveral says the safe word is don't stop.
That won't cause any confusion at all. I love it. This is the weirdest show we've ever had. It's just going to get weirder from here on out. I promise you.
It's part of the course.
It is. Listen,
Everything
real quick.
is exactly. Oh, good. Sorry.
No. I mean, this is important to a few select people. I just want to make sure that everybody knows this. The Patreon scroll down below. This has not been updated for this month yet, for February. Today's show kind of snuck up on me. I was busy with a few other things. The Patreon scroll will be updated for Friday's show. Usually I try to get it done on the 1st. But again, if you want to make sure that your name is on there, I believe that's the $3 tier, $3 or above, and that also gives you access to voice chat over on Discord. But remember, everything else on Discord is totally free. Join us over there, hang out, shoot the shit. It's a good time. Holy shit, AJ! What a day we've had. That Gran Turismo state of play was underwhelming at best.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think Stingray X said it. You're not selling people on the game. Like, that was purely for the fans of the series, and that's cool. I got nothing against that. But you're certainly not, I mean, again, the back and forth with these state of plays, I mean, what they do with them, I just feel like they still don't get it, man. Like, they really need a shakeup in their marketing department or something over there, because I don't know. We love Sony, we love PlayStation in particular, and but we're not, we're not immune to criticizing them, and I'm just kind of like watching that. I'm like, man, you got people excited for this? Like, it was like okay, but I don't know.
I mean, let's call a spade a spade. If they ended that entire thing with like 90 seconds of PSVR 2 footage and said, check this shit out, AJ, wouldn't you have been like, that was the best presentation ever?
If they ended it with PSVR 2?
PSVR 2 footage, yeah.
Yeah, because that would be like a huge announcement. That's exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gatorade 23, the H2O despising Gamecat rare. The $10 tip in the chat says, Zenith has been amazing. Been having a blast, and the server is full of Gamecats. Truly incredible. It's so funny. Since I don't have access to bring people into the guild, that's all on AJ because he started the guild. I ran past Gatorade 23, I believe before you joined. And I was like, oh, that was Gatorade 23. And then I was like, oh, wait, where did he go? He's like, you're gone in like seconds. And I was like, I feel bad stopping and telling people, hey, you should join the guild, and then not actually have the power to add you to the guild.
Just teasing people.
I mean, that's pretty much all it's been. All I do is reassure people, don't worry, we'll get you in as soon as possible. Now let's Ryan, the game feeling with the $10 tip says, finally get Song in the Smoke. Hell yeah, yes. Now let's Ryan. Love that game, but damn, the difficulty curve is brutal. Easy is hard, normal is damn near impossible. Yeah, but trust me, when you get the hang of it, and when things start getting easier, you feel really accomplished for having survived like those earlier parts. So
yeah,
I'm glad you got it.
Just to warn you ahead of time, Nihilist Ryan, I like difficult games. Just to let you know in advance. So sometimes, like, I do like games that can be really challenging for others, and they're challenging to me too. It's not like they're easy for me. I just stick it out, and I often find that overcoming that is part of the reward. Like, it's such a rewarding feeling, and it probably releases lots of chemicals in my brain that says I accomplished something and that you should feel good. And yeah, it's why I like games like Bloodborne and stuff. That game is hard as hell at first, but once you play a lot, then it just becomes easy over time. It feels like it's easy after a while.
AJ was raised on Mega Man. What else could you possibly expect from him?
I was raised on like Mega Man, Ninja Gaiden. Oh God, yeah, NES games, man. Those, you want to talk about hard, difficult games? Go bust out your NES that you may or may not still have, and go play some of that shit, because that shit was hard. Those games are like 5 minutes long, and they took me like years to beat.
You keep saying things like hard and bust out, and this whole episode.
It's hump day, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's hump day, baby. Let's go. What is up,
trust me, I'm not saying poodle, man. You ain't gonna convince me to say poodle. Looper, the Underground Gamecat. This is our last tip we'll address before we get the show started. 10 euros says, I just realized that Zenith is truly cross-platform in the sense that you can seamlessly pick up your progress at any time, e.g. play it on PC VR during the GAMESCAST and return back to PSVR after. Yeah, that is certainly an element that has gone a little bit under the radar. You can it's all tied to your Skywave account, not the console that you're on, and so you can seamlessly go from one headset to another and never lose your progress. It is pretty fucking cool. In the regular cross-platform play of like seeing people on Quest and PC VR just running around the field and like joining up with them, it's so seamless. It's pretty crazy how they pulled it all off.
Yeah, Mad Max pointed that out, and that's going to be a huge thing originally, and that's going to be really important for when we get the inevitable PSVR 2 upgrade for Zenith. And yeah, we'll be able to just there's kind of likely, I would say, loose confirmation that we will be able to just continue our game progress from where we left off.
I like loose information. Pietrek, I lied. We're going to take care of these tips too. Pietrek F with the 9 plantains says, as a GT fan, I was more than hyped by today's state of play. That's good to hear. Really like that, because I'm not a GT fan. I like arcade racers. I like Burnout and Ridge Racer, that kind of stuff. And then And so if I'm going to do a sim, it's got to be in VR, and I'm going to get like a full steering wheel and pedals and the whole setup. But other than
Yeah, I like
VR, I don't care.
Yeah, sim racers are, I think, even better in VR. There's something very immersive about them because of their realism and
Yeah.
yeah. There's Dirt Rally and Gran Turismo are great examples. But I like all sorts. I like good games, man. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's good.
And then finally, Grizzly Bear King with the $5 tip says, any insider knowledge if PSVR 2 is backwards compatible? Nate the Hate, who I can't say I've ever heard of, said from his hearings it isn't. Love the content. It depends what you classify as backwards compatible. We don't know anything for certain. I would say that the most reasonable expectation is that any developer worth their salt that has a game out on PSVR 1 will be issuing a patch that'll make it playable for PSVR 2.
Right.
I'm going to guess without that patch, it's going to probably not be backwards compatible. But that's more speculation. Is Nate the Hate?
Well, I would say our insider info would point to no, but like you said, a lot of games getting a PS5/PSVR 2 patch, which is better. PS5, as we've said before, we've got tons of discussions about this. PS5 is already backwards compatible with PSVR 1 headset using the adapter, full library available on the PSN store, plays discs, in that regard, yes, but no, probably going to be upgrades.
Yeah, now that I think of it, Nate the Hate, I think I have heard of him. Somebody was talking about him recently, and in all the information that I heard about that he had said was absolutely incorrect. So I don't know who his sources are, but I don't think that they're accurate. Because I think he was making some other claims that I don't think are true either. Anyway, let's get to our first news story. 12 goddamn minutes, AJ, and that's that apparently Real Fishing VR is supposed to be coming to PlayStation VR at some point later this year. Shout out to Seek the Gamecat, who gave us the heads up on this, who noticed the roadmap over on Reddit. AJ, what's your interest in a Real Fishing VR game?
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, a fishing VR game I'm definitely interested in. Catch and Release is one of the best PSVR games I think available, and it depends on if it's good or not. I know nothing about this game. This came up last second, so I haven't looked up the game at all, reviews or anything. I'm sure we can pull up some here. Maybe some cats have played it and can tell us. But I do enjoy fishing games, but they have to be good. And Catch and Release is a prime example of something. If there's more catch and release style stuff, then yeah, I'm all with it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the roadmap here, and it looks like they from July to December of last year, of 2021, they just nonstop updates, 20 new fishing spots, more fish species, fish updates to the mechanics, new UI updates, new tackles, new baits. I mean, it looks like they have been plugging away on this with adding on online leaderboards. And then it looks like with 2022, they're talking about even more fishing spots added, even more fish species. And then in the second half of the year, it says we'll expand to other VR platforms, including Steam, PSVR, and more. Now, the issue is, I was just looking this up I thought Real Fishing was already on Steam because it's got tons of negative feedback or negative reviews over on Steam. So maybe this is a different Real Fishing VR, but so I don't know how many different games are called Real Fishing VR.
West Coast DLC. I think if this is the one I'm thinking of, I've heard actually really good things about this.
Nice.
So I wonder if this is going to be another VR Monkey port.
That's a good
It's going to be actually touched up for PSVR, but either way, if it's like I said, if it's a good fishing game, I'm down.
Yeah. I mean, I think Catch and Release was so good at doing what they did with fishing because they kind of made it a game where, like, if you didn't even have to care about fishing to really enjoy the game, they made it so much fun to just experience that lake and I mean, fishing was sort of like secondary almost, but. If what I'd be curious about is can you move around these locations? They say we've added 20 new fishing spots. We're going to add another 20 new fishing spots. And if it's just like wave shooter style where you just stand there in one spot and say I'm fishing here, I'm immediately losing interest. So hopefully that they have bigger areas to move around in. But it's always good, man. Especially especially this year where we don't really know what's coming for PSVR 1. It's always good to hear of other titles coming down the pipeline.
Kind of does look like a wave fisher.
It looks like a wave fisher. Yeah. We got Blue Jew, the Underground Gamecat, with the $5 tip. Rare says, if the groundhog sees its shadow today on hump day, does he get 6 more weeks of humping? I mean, let's pray to the groundhog gods that is the case. Yes, because I don't know what else groundhogs have going on in their lives, and so more humping the better, I would say. AJ, as excited as we are about real fishing VR, I think we're far, far, far more excited about the game I think that most people are excited about right now, and that's Zenith, The Last City. We were a little bit curious about what was going on. They launched in a pretty amazing state with just a ton of content, a ton of things to do, great cross-play mechanics, as we have already talked about, and we're just like, wow, they actually kind of knocked it out of the park. Not on day one, but on day two, they did a great job. So are you surprised that today, just minutes ago, they released more information, that they released some information about their roadmap and stuff to expect in the future?
Well, I think it's excellent. I think this was nice and early to get this information out there, keep the excitement going. You know, tons still to enjoy with the game currently. There's a huge game and lots of stuff to look forward to as well, to stay excited. And I think they are nailing this on all accounts as to what they have planned and what they're communicating.
Yeah. I expected to not hear about anything for maybe a month or so. I figured they'd give everyone time to get in there, get caught up, max out their levels. Maybe even like if you're an Essence Mage, like max out one of your characters, get in there and be a Blade Master and get in there and max out your other character. Give people time to really experience both of the classes. But they didn't do that, man. It's been less than a week since release, and here they are with a ton of awesome news for us.
Yes,
AJ,
and speaking of classes, Brian, they have unveiled the third new class that they have said was going to maybe be at launch, I believe. Probably got pushed back a little bit for, obvious, understandable reasons. But that, Brian, is the Cyber Ninja. I mean, holy shit. Way to make me get really excited. I mean, that is awesome. But I think people are going to find what the Cyber Ninja is really interesting as well.
AJ, you're the Zenith guy. You're the leader of the Gamecat dojo.
I will wear that proudly. Yes.
Why don't you take us on a journey here? I've got the webpage up and running. Why don't you read it off for us?
All right. This comes straight from the Zenith blog. The Cyber Ninja is a fusion of magic and technology with the sole purpose of taking down enemies with a stealth and precision, often using their array of gadgets to get the job done in style. For enemies at a distance, the Cyber Ninja can pull back a charged shot with its bow and take an enemy out before it even notices them. So stop right here for 1 second.
Everybody was speculating that the third class would be some kind of archer, and despite the fact that Cyber Ninja doesn't scream archer, it is.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's what's funny is I said, man, there's a couple, because there's so much room for growth in this game, so many ways to expand it, and there was one class that I mentioned I wanted, but one of those, a couple actually, one of them was an archer class, because I think that would be a really good fit with the game. You've already got mages that can use ranged attacks, and that's really cool, and this would be probably a similar thing. But the other thing that I find really interesting and that I've said I would love to see is a stealth class. And so this is going to be kind of like how they do the other classes that just do like everything. They're going to have a bow and arrow using stealth class that should be really, really awesome.
Yeah.
And it says lots of gadgets too, technology and gadgets.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the Blade Master and Essence Mage are already play very, very differently, and so it's good to go in with a good variety of people, and this is just going to be crazy. Like I feel like you're gonna have like cyber ninjas on the field that like you don't even see them. Like they're gonna be all stealthy and shit, and they're gonna be like taking down enemies before you even get to them, or they're gonna be like well out of range, like not in need of any medical assistance or anything like that. during bigger battles. I think it's going to be interesting. I think all of those classes are going to work really well together.
Yeah, I think this is super cool, but there's more. The hook shot, still experimental and might change, gives the Cyber Ninja a whole new type of mobility, being able to quickly pull itself towards an enemy, for example, drop an explosive, then hook shot to a wall to quickly get out of the way before the explosive turns the monster into a pile of ash. So it's going to have a grappling hook as well.
Yeah.
I mean, oh man, this sounds so cool.
Right. It's the opposite of get over here. It's I'm coming over there. And then before you can even attack me, I'm dropping a bomb at your feet. I'm out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, this is sounding like a really, really fun class to play as, and is something different, offers something different than the other two, what they have to offer. Now, they did show an early concept art that says it's not final, but it does have a sword on the back as well. So I'll be interested to see if it actually, if they stay with the sword or if they go with maybe like a dagger that you sneak up and use like behind enemies or something. Again, stealth is really, really fun in VR. So I think for maybe those who haven't tried any stealth games or experienced that yet, I have in several games from Hitman to Skyrim to the Persistence. Stealth is really fun and immersive in VR, and I love the way this class looks and seems, like the concept of it, and it sounds really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. Do you think the grappling hook is going to be something that's more than just for latching on to characters? Do you think possibly it could be a new form of locomotion where...
Well, that's what they say. They say you latch and pull yourself to characters, and then you drop a bomb using one of these devices, and then you can use it to get away. So yeah, you'll be able to.
Oh, maybe I guess I didn't take the whole use it to get away thing. So it's like just like latch onto a wall and pull yourself over. That's really interesting. That
so I wonder if they compensate by like making this character not able to fly or something, and be only able to use the grappling hook, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but
right. What would keep the character from being like totally OP, right?
Right, or like everybody playing as that class, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I like that.
But that's not all, Brian.
But wait, there's more.
Yes, a 2022 roadmap for some other content coming this month, and they are adding in-game alerts so that like you can communicate if the server is going to be going down for maintenance or something. That's a common thing in MMOs. It says it basically will come up and say servers will shut down for maintenance in 15 minutes, and basically comes up and gives you a warning, so it doesn't just automatically kick you off and you're like in the middle of doing something important. You're like, what the fuck? Now I'm interested to see your thoughts on this one. There's new quests. They say we've added 23 new side quests, including quests in each biome to make leveling up more fun and diverse.
Yeah, I mean so it's funny because the complaints I've heard from other people have not been my complaints. I was talking to one of our friends over on Discord saying that it was frustrating to have to grind to continue the main story, to be able to accept quests that I get to an area, I get to a new NPC to accept quests, and he's level 12 but he needs to be level 14. So it's like okay, well I've already done some events. Sorry, sirens on my end. A lot of sirens on my end. There's I've already done quests, I've already done side quests a few times, I've already done events a few times, but now I have to go back and do those again and just sort of grind in order to continue the story. And now that doesn't bother me. I fucking love grinding in games, but to hear it actually bothers some people, this is the perfect solution, right? Adding just new quests that make it feel less grindy, because you're doing something new. You're not just going back and and killing more sylphids over and over and over and going meeting Mika by the bridge for the 400th time. Like it's allowing you to do different things in areas as you progress, and then not make it feel so grindy. So for people that bothers, I think this is perfect. I think this is super important.
Yeah, another thing I've said that they could use a little bit more of is like some side quests or stuff, and because the way they have it set up right now is that you try to do the main story. You do one main story mission, and then you have to grind to do the next one. Main story mission, grind to do the next one to unlock it, to level up, and that gets really like that can be tough. So having more things to do within those areas, making it more fun to level up. It's something I kind of naturally expected for them to expand on as the game went on, and yeah, this is it. So. In addition, they have a new armor tier, which they said we've added a new tier of endgame armor and weapons that will give players something new to work towards obtaining in the end game. Yeah, they've already got like legendary gear and magic gear that you can work towards in the end game content. I'm currently working on that with a bunch of cats.
Nice.
But it'll be interesting. This is just more incentive. And I'll tell you, like, yeah, it's a hell of a grind to get it. I'll tell you that. But it's more stuff to go and do, more end game content. It seems.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, more content, the better. It's gonna take a lot of people a long time to get there.
So Arborate tuning, which is like the final boss, I'm guessing is his name, and yeah, they've got some tuning, fine tuning to him. Or them fix several armor visual glitches. Yeah, my neck was invisible in one part. Improved animations, upgraded and tweaked animations of the quest NPCs to bring out more each character's distinct personality.
Nice.
So now Shin will go Slayer. I don't know.
Yeah,
they kind of.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, this is nice, sort of polish that I wasn't even looking for.
Right.
So the fact that they're paying attention to things that I doubt anybody's even complaining about is nice. It just adds a little bit more life to the world.
All right. So they're doing some UI improvements to make things a bit more clear. And they say miscellaneous improvements, stability, quality of life. And then they say planned in 2022. Player housing, which is a big deal.
Huge
you
deal.
can now, if you didn't already live in the world of Zenith, now you can have a house and officially live in the world of Zenith, have a place to call home and sleep at night.
I mean, that's so cool. I mean, I don't. My hope is that, and I'm just kind of scanning this to make sure that I didn't miss anything. I've said this before that like I hate trashing some of my items. I hate dusting some of my items. I would really like that if my home had an item crate where, yes, I have to travel back there and just like throw a bunch of shit into my item crate for storage. Yeah. But just so that I didn't have to like, trash things on the fly in the middle of quests where I'm like, oh, I really want to pick this thing up, but I don't have room for anything else. I'm just going to trash it. So being able to like go off on start each quest kind of with an empty inventory, knowing that all the stuff that I really do want to hold on to is back at my house, that would be great.
Additional life skills in crafting. The third class, the Cyber Ninja. More end game content, which I think is going to be really important. More dungeons, boss fights, special bosses, special things. And they say, and much, much more. And they say, we'll try to do updates like these as often as we can. Thank you again for believing in what we're building in Zenith. We're a small team with huge dreams and ambitions for Zenith, and it's only with your support that we've gotten this far. They say, please continue to give us ideas, feedback, and bug reports, blah, blah, blah. Feedback.zenithmmo.com.
Yeah.
So super cool stuff, man. Really, really exciting news.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be.
I'm still enjoying the game.
I mean, and how many hours do you think you poured in so far? Do you have any sense of that?
Oh God, I know I have at least a confirmed like 60, but I'm probably closer to like 80 or 90 at this point.
Right, and you still have more to go, and of course, there's more coming too.
Yeah, I've got more end game stuff to do right now. I've already kind of technically finished the game as far as it'll let me.
Love it, man. I absolutely love it. I've loved every single minute that I've spent in that game. I don't mind getting lost because there's people around that are there to hold my hand and take me with them. Say, come this way, Brian. We've got you. And I was like, thank you so much, man. I did my absolute best I tried to get as many cats into that review as I possibly could.
God, you got so many.
I love seeing all the comments from people like Sci-Fi Gamecat. Henry was like, he's like, I watched this twice because I'm in it. And I'm like, that's awesome. So
yeah.
So I did my best. It was insane trying to cram as much footage in there as I possibly could. And so if I did play with anybody and I didn't get them into the review, I'm sorry, but man, thank you guys so much for being there with me and hanging out with me. I'm certainly not done with this game. I'm going to spend a lot more time in it over the next couple weeks.
Cool, man. Well, that brings us to our next major topic, which is one of our major topics. That is, after the fall, got a brand new update.
So,
oh, that didn't sound good.
Let's address how, like, where we're at with this game and like where we've come from and how long it's taken us to get here. This game launched a couple months ago, and everyone was looking forward to it for the better part of like 4+ years. I'm just wondering what Vertigo Games was going to bring us after Arizona Sunshine. And when it launched on PSVR, it launched in one of the worst states I think we've ever seen a game launch. Bad frame rates with the controls were so fucked up. I've never seen such horrible controls in a PSVR game. Just like things that just didn't make any sense whatsoever. And on top of it, we were getting crashes. Once we get to the higher difficulty levels, we were getting crashes. I still think the lobby makes no sense whatsoever. And then on top of all of that, besides the crashes, which are irritating enough, we were also getting items after these long runs that we'd be getting rare items for things that don't exist, like attachments for weapons that don't fit on that weapon. So it was just basically like a throwaway. It's like the weirdest bug I'd ever seen. And so it's been a really bad launch for After the Fall, as far as I'm concerned, at least on PSVR.
Yeah.
And then today, or yesterday, I believe, it was patch 1.04 came out and addressed a lot of those concerns. I got to drop in today and try it out a little bit, and I will say, everything works. It really does. Like, the game doesn't crash when you finish a master difficulty run anymore. There's been a lot of balancing. There's been a lot of improvements for those bugs we were just talking about. And I'll tell you this: the horde animations are so much better. It no longer looks like the horde is running at 10 frames a second. The horde looks normal, right? So there's been a lot of improvements to the PlayStation VR version.
Well, that's good that the game is now how it should have been 2 months ago.
Yeah.
When it launched for $40
or $50 for the deluxe edition,
or $50. I don't know. There are things I liked about this game. I did have some fun with it, but it's a prime example of why I feel the way about Zenith, and then why I felt the way about this game at launch, because there is a stark contrast between the two. And I mean, I don't know what it is, man. I just, this game was probably the most disappointing game of 2021. I think that's easy. Not even like debate about it. There were some things I liked about it, and a lot of people held off. We said, look, just give them some time to patch it, and then pick it up. And do you think that window has passed now? Do you think it's too far for this game to be just in a operational state to recover on the PSVR side? Anyways, I think it did pretty well on Quest, but it's like, if you take the time to release on all platforms, you want it to be successful on all platforms.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is that I think it's too late for this game, period. I don't even think it matters on what platform anymore. I feel like when this game came out and it launched, it was way too expensive. They asked you to do the same thing over and over and over, and I understand that they were inspired by Left 4 Dead, and I understand where they would get their influences from, and saying, oh well, this is how it worked in Left 4 Dead. But I was like, yeah, but Left 4 Dead did everything better, like everything really, really well, and made me want to replay those stages. This does not do that. Excuse me, I've got a cat right here who's going to cause some major problems. Get over here, buddy. There we go. Who's a good girl? So, but the problem is that there's just nothing here. Like, there's no reason to replay these levels, and so now that everything's working, it's even easier to kind of see the problems, the inherent problems that the game design has. Right? It's when the game had issues, and like we were trying to fight through them and struggle through them, it was one thing. It was almost like, hey man, I think this is good. I think, and I'm having fun because I'm playing with my friends. But once you sort of clear away all of the issues that the game has from a technical standpoint and you're just left with the game, it's so easy to see how shallow it is. It's so easy to see that if it wasn't for the social aspect, it wouldn't be very much fun. That there's only 6 weapons, that the attachments that you're getting just really are cool, but not the kind of thing I want to like grind away at and play the exact same levels over and over and over and over to get. You know, when I'm just getting a floppy disk to unlock things. I really needed other items to find in the world. I really needed some saints and sinners element to it, where I'm going out every time I go out. This time I need rubber. This time I need sugar. This time I need that. This time I need this, because these are the things I'm trying to craft and give me a reason to go back into the world and maybe scout different locations for different types of materials. But instead it's, here we are, we're going through the exact same process with the exact same enemies, with the exact same layout, with the exact same levels, with the exact same everything. And, oh, and by the way, we can up the difficulty level to find more rare stuff, and now it just takes the zombies a few extra hits to take down, which is like, I mean, I'm sorry, is that's supposed to be where the fun is? There's so many problems with this game just inherently in its game design, that I don't think there's really any saving it. There's fun to be had, but they need to deliver 3 times as much content as they've delivered, and I'm a little bit concerned that it's too late for that.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I felt like this game had it almost like the issues, the bugs, the lack of polish, all the issues we had at launch almost masked, like it made it hard for me to just judge the game for what the game is. And I do think that there is some fun to be had. I like the shooting gameplay. I like shooting zombies and watching them like fall apart into pieces and stuff. And but yeah, the grind was, they made it really grindy, and it just didn't really feel very good. I don't know. I guess I did like the grind of the gameplay and stuff. The reward was pretty tedious. Like even that had issues where I was like, okay, you want me to replay these levels so that the next time I play them on the higher difficulties, I get better loot and better attachments and be rewarded and attached to them. But the problem was, like, they give you like duplicates, so it's already like this like kind of not so deep. Like they really tried to pad the game by just kind of like making it repetitive, and they make subtle changes, and some of those were noticeable and nice, but overall, I mean, yeah, it's 5 20-minute levels that you're supposed to play for like tens of hundreds of hours or something. Like it's just, I don't know. And then, like I said, you grind for loot, and then it just gives you duplicates of things that you had. And that's where I gave up on the game. I was like, look, I'm trying to get through this to see if like it's worth it, if it's, because I do enjoy the game. I enjoy doing the call outs, talking with each other. But when I'm spending all this time for a run and then it's crashing and I'm losing my shit, or I'm just doing all this work and then I'm getting some piece of shit thing that's like not even rewarding my time for going into it, it's just, that's where I stopped. And I said, enough is enough, man. Like this game was in development for 4 years and should have been so much bigger and better than what it turned out to be. I do acknowledge the fact that there are some fun elements about it. I enjoyed it, I think, more than a lot of people at launch. But I couldn't take it anymore, man. And I think when we see people asking around on the internet, is anybody still playing this game? I think this is a sign of the problems with the game, where no matter how much you enjoy it at first, the staying power, it just drops off a cliff right after that.
Yeah, if you ever spend 20, 30, 40 minutes in a game going through a run and then ending up exactly where you started, being like, well, I just wasted fucking almost an hour and I don't have anything to show for it because I got a duplicate item. It's like, at least have an XP bar. At least have an XP bar where like some of my characters' abilities are leveling up. right? Where I'm like, even make the XP bar a slow grind, man. I don't care, but I want more HP and I want more the ability to run faster or to something, man. Just like give me a list of attributes and slowly upgrade my character as I play through this game. It just feels like they were making a bigger game and never actually made that game. And I saw some people here in the chat saying this game was made for Quest, and I don't think it originally was. I think it kind of got cobbled together to be what it is now, late in development, and you can see that the lobby doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Here's 32 people running around, but I can't. But
can't talk to any of them.
You can't talk to any of them, and it's only for people who are going in without partying up first. And so in which I don't think happens very often. I don't think a lot of people are just going in and playing with random people. I think a lot of people are like, "Hey, let's get on here with my 3 friends, and get in together." And then they don't make that. Why can't I get into a lobby with my 3 friends? It's like there's so many like just quality of life elements that don't make sense here. Is like you can just tell that it didn't come together the way that it should. Like, and I know I'm being like super crazy negative. There is fun to be had here, and like and I'm going.
I think it's warranted, man. I think it's warranted because 4 years, all the success of Arizona Sunshine, all of the investments that we hear about this behind the studio, the support they had, the hype going into it, and just what they delivered was just subpar, man. It was not so. I think it's fully justified that it gets criticized pretty harshly. Yes, I like the shooting gameplay. I like playing it with friends. There was some nice looking things in the game, but it's just for how long the game was in development, it just I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
Matthew Lee in the chat says it's been 4 years in development. Quest 2 is not that old. Exactly. Now you're catching on, Matthew Lee. It's like as soon as Quest 2 started taking off in sales, that's when direction changed, and it changed way too late in development for it to make any sense. So here's the other part of this is that I've been wanting to have an After the Fall review since day one, and I was like, oh man, this is in such fucking shambles. There's no way they're gonna there's no way they're gonna go even a week without fixing the controls. There's no way they're gonna go a week without fixing the crashes. They have got to finish this, and then like Christmas break happened, and we didn't hear anything for a month. I was like, what? Like it's just like thanks for your $40 or $50. See you next month. It's like, seriously?
This is what gamers really should be afraid of, is shit like this happening when it's just I think that's the biggest problem I have with this game. $40, man. That is a AAA price. And this is this is not a $40 game. I don't care how much you like
this is a $20 game or whatever. Up and down.
Yeah, I mean I think that pisses me off more than anything is the price of the game. And I mean, the people that bought the $50 edition, they didn't even have access to the things that they paid the extra money for. I don't even know if those still work. I don't even know if those work at all. I think they do, but I haven't even seen anybody talk about it or show it off or confirm that it works. But at launch, it was definitely not working, and it's like, yeah, man, it's just it's got me feeling too much like a cash grab than it is a quality product with love and care and something for the gamers out there. Feels like more of being a little bit taken advantage of it. I don't like that.
Right. They overcharged, under-delivered, and so far they haven't really revealed what their plans are for the game in the future. There better be a ton of free DLC planned for the rest of this year. Now, I am going to review it, and I'm going to spend like the next 2 days playing it pretty much nonstop, which really pisses me off because I want to spend time playing Zenith. But no, I'm gonna get back invested into this game, and I'm going to make sure that everything's upgraded, and I spend hours and hours and hours really experiencing everything it has to offer, and I'm going to give it it's a fair shake, right? I really do, because so far the experience on PSVR has been less than
shit.
Yeah, it's been shit, and so
awful. The few people that didn't listen to us when we said don't buy this game, they bought it anyways, and then they came back and complained on my videos that it wasn't working. Yeah. And I was like, I told you, like I tried to tell you, it was broken. They're like, the game is unplayable. It crashes for me. I gave up. I was like, I'm not like making this shit up. I don't have anything against the developer or the game. It's just what it was happening, and we try to convey that to you guys.
Yeah, Brax Pro says, "Bring a friend, Brian. Bring a friend. I'm going to bring 3 friends. I'm gonna kidnap three of my friends and make them also not play Zenith. So we're gonna have a good time. But anyway, so expect a review pretty soon in the next couple days, and let's move on to one more game that came out very recently, and that was Dragonride VR. AJ, I said a little. I played Dragonride VR on my channel, or on this channel. And I played it for about an hour, live streamed, showed off a bunch of the different features. But we have not heard your opinion on this yet.
Oh, so Dragonride. I appreciate what this game aspires to be. And that's kind of the most positive thing I have to say about it. I do appreciate the concept of this game, and I really like what they're going for. I do think they made this game with care and love and care and attention, and like they wanted to make this game. I can tell that they enjoyed making this game. But the problem is, I think first and foremost, visually. I think it gets a little bit limited by the PS4 hardware, and that's kind of a bad thing when it's supposed to be a fun, like theme park ride kind of experience game. And they had an option. They had options to either keep the game the way it looks on PC and make it really blurry, or they could have completely stripped out all the textures and all the detail and everything and make it more clear. And they went with choice A, where it's like sometimes it looks really decent and sometimes it looks really blurry. You can tell there's a lot of detail there, but I think it's just too limited for the PS4 hardware. And visually, I would like to see this honestly on. Well, let me just keep it there for now. Visually, it's like it looks kind of nice, but it's blurry.
Yeah, I mean that. I'm glad you started with the visuals, because I felt like there was something weird about the visuals for me, where it's like they had these really realistic texture mapping, and everything looks really good if you just stop and look at it, but something seemed wrong about it. I'm not sure if I could really put my finger on it. It's to me. To me, I wasn't concerned about the resolution or anything else. I was like, this looks realistic, but it also seemed like it was lacking depth somehow. I was up on this dragon. I'm hundreds of feet above the ground. I'm flying around, and not a single part of me is like, I'm really high up here. Like it happened to me in Windlands, which was super cartoony, and I feel like there's something about the graphical style that is keeping me from feeling immersed. Somehow there's no depth to it. Did you get that feeling too, or is that just me?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought it felt like it was trying to be fun, and I don't know. There is a lot of like kind of low flying dragon rides, but there's also some that go higher. I've got some great things that I really like about this game too. But yeah, I didn't get like the whoa, I'm way high up in the air, like this is crazy feeling. Yeah, but I did get a fun factor from other means in the game.
What were those fun factors?
The fun factor is that this game has somehow more variety and music than, maybe not track listings, but this game has a Beat Saber mode, but it's basically Dargon Saber, where you're slicing these balloons, and it's kind of like I was like playing this and I was like, okay, this is not like the most polished. But they really put a lot of effort into the mapping, and there's like difficulty settings. There's classical music. Well, there's like one classical music track. There's electronic music, as you can always expect. But they have metal in this, and they have rock, hard rock, alternative rock. They have punk rock. And so I was actually having kind of a lot of fun riding a dragon, playing a Beat Saber clone on the dragon, and then like flying up a pyramid with some like metal and punk rock blasting. And I was like, yeah, like this is kind of interesting. Like I get it. It's a clone, Not an original game by any means, and it's not as like technically fine tuned as Beat Saber is, because that sword play is really satisfying.
Yeah.
But there's something cool about flying around on a dragon, blasting metal and slicing balloons like Beat Saber.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you. And there's so many game modes in here too. The Beat Saber mode is just one of them. You can go around just popping balloons. You can go around. There's a free flight mode, so most of these things are on rails, and you can just go for a ride, as if it's a roller coaster. Again, that's part of my problem again with the not feeling immersed or feeling like I'm high up off the ground. I didn't get that roller coaster feeling from it, and I really wanted that. But it's also crazy that there's a free flight mode where you can fly around and fly through rings and just go off the rails entirely and explore these levels, which are really really fucking huge. I think with a little bit of polish, this could be a really fun game. Right now, it's sort of like a wait and see. Maybe wait for a sale if you're interested.
Yeah, I mean, $15 isn't the worst price. It's not necessarily like the game doesn't have $15 worth of content. It's kind of like the quality issue a little bit. And I would love to see this. So I think this game on PSVR 2, with the proper hardware, I feel like would have a better chance of being. I want this to be this game where I can like show a friend, like stick a friend into VR and let them see, like, hey, you want to see what VR is all about? Here's riding a fucking dragon to some metal music, and like, and like, I think it could be a really cool experience. And there are times, like, if you look at the social output screen, like, it looks like beautiful on there, but it doesn't look like that in the headset. And I feel like that's a problem. Like, it doesn't look good enough. It's kind of like Summer Funland, where it's like trying to wow you, but it because of the limitations of the PS4 hardware. Not the PSVR headset, but the PS4 guts.
Right.
It just doesn't have enough power to match the experience. This probably looks really good on PC, which is why it has a lot better reviews or has some really high reviews. Again, I like what they're going for here. And on a side note, I thought it was really interesting. There was one of the punk rock bands that they had. I think it was called like FYD, and I swear to God that was. That's got to be some members of this band that I saw live one time called Choking Victim. And because it's like ska punk. I don't know. FYD. I'm thinking out loud now. But I was like, hey, I think I know this band. And I thought that was really cool. I like some of the music. And I don't know if it's the same members, but let me find out. I gotta find this out now.
Right. This is certainly the most important thing.
This is very important.
Oh, I'm aware.
They later became Leftover Crack, and then let me see if it's just the band's name.
Leftover Crack.
Sorry.
I love it.
Yeah, that was the band that I saw live. They used to be called Choking Victim, and then. I gotta see if it's the same singer because it sounded like them. Anyways, I'm sorry. But yeah, there's a couple different game modes. There's like the tour rides thing, and there's riding the dragons. There's like the target practice, and it kind of just puts you on a loop, and you shoot the balloons, you shoot the targets. They've got like enough content here. I think the visuals and the performance are kind of what's holding it back. And then if they could actually fine tune that. The Beat Saber mode, like it could actually be pretty decent. Like I said, it's kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine already. I feel like it's a bit of a guilty pleasure.
Hey man, guilty pleasure's good. I hope for some fine tuning because you can tell that they kind of threw everything at the wall and a bunch of stuff stuck and they just kind of kept working on that. And I think there's something here. I'm just having a hard time recommending it at the moment. AJ,
yo,
are you ready for a game of PSVR 20 questions where I put 6 minutes up on the clock and you have 20 yes or no questions to guess what PlayStation VR game I'm thinking of and you get some assistance from the cats in the chat? Question mark?
I am ready.
Nice. I forgot what game it is. I picked out a game at the beginning of the show and I already forgot which one it is.
But yeah, my final thoughts on that game. I don't know. I guess I already said it. I hope they get a second chance on PSVR 2 because I think it could be a cool stick your friend in VR and show this game.
Man, you just love fucking with sci-fi Gamecat Henry. He doesn't know where to put the timestamps. He's like, it's 20 questions.
Yes,
No, it's Dragonride. No, it's 20 questions. All right, here we go. Ready? Go.
Yep. Does it have move support?
It does have move support.
Okay. So it has moves, cats.
Move-
Does it
move
have
cats.
DualShock 4 support?
So here's a hint. I had to look it up, and it does.
Okay.
Not a
So
game
it's
you'd
not one you would
associate with
expect.
DualShock.
Okay. I was gonna ask that, GC13. Is it VRAF?
There's VRAF elements. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
Okay. Like a lot of stuff to interact with, a lot of stuff to pick up and mess with, and yeah. Doesn't
you're not
have
just,
to
you're
have
not just
like,
pushing buttons. You're actually doing the things. Yes,
does that include full locomotion?
there is not full locomotion in this game. That is 4 questions.
Is it a puzzle game?
It's not a puzzle game. No,
Is it a theme park game?
it's not
Kind
a
of
theme
like
park.
a how do you describe that? Like a what do you call it? Like something like a Pierhead arcade or because that's not an arcade game. I mean, like a Summer
no,
Funland
it's
or
not 6.
okay. Hey, that shouldn't have counted as another one.
No, that would like your
That was the
carnival
same
game.
one, right?
That was the same one. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
We're trying to cheat. We all know you cheat so much on these.
I don't think I'm the one that gets accused of cheating.
Is it a wave shooter? Like Lou's Reviews says.
No, but I mean, don't let wave shooter escape your mind here. I don't think you'd classify it as a wave shooter, but
Okay.
dot.
Is there any type of movement?
No, you stand in one spot.
Okay, so you're in one spot, and we don't have. Are there mini games in this game?
I wouldn't call them mini games.
Okay. Interesting. There's no type of locomotion. So Five Nights at Freddy's has locomotion in it, even if it's not the main game. But in truth has no teleportation.
Node sliding even.
What?
Node sliding.
Oh.
Yeah, just pointless. Just making conversation. Just keeping myself entertained.
Is it a simulator?
Define your question better.
Does it try to simulate or have a parody of simulating something?
I would say that it might throw you off a little bit if I say yes, but I'm still going to say yes because it does sort of fall into that category a little bit.
Okay.
That's 10.
I don't think it's one of the simulator games, unless he chose it again. His memory's not as good as mine.
Non-existent memory, which is half the reason I get lost all the time. Half the reason. The other half is I just don't fucking pay attention to shit.
Let's see. The Trex came Gun Club. Did I ask if is there shooting in this game? Lots of shooting of you shooting guns in this game?
There's no shooting of guns in this game. That's 11.
There's no shooting of guns in this game. So it can't be super hot. No form of locomotion, so it can't be catch and release because that does have locomotion.
Just an FYI, you've only got 90 seconds left.
Oh, shit.
In
Can't
9
be Dick
questions.
Wild. Okay, has this developer made other VR games?
Oh, that's a
PSVR
really good
games.
question. I don't think so. No. No.
Can you play this game flat screen?
No, you can't.
What do we got here, guys? I didn't realize we were taking so much time on this. Is it a shit game?
Is it a shit game? Like, is it bad?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think there's some love for this game. It's not
Okay.
not a masterpiece. It's not great, but it's okay. It's good.
Yeah,
6 more questions total.
6 more questions.
5 and
Let's
a guess.
see here. Is it a strategy game? Is there strategic elements in this? No.
No, I mean every game has some strategic
It's
element,
not-
but no, you wouldn't
So it's
classify
not
it as
Bridge
strategy.
Crew. Because Bridge Crew has like strategic elements. Is there multiplayer?
There's no multiplayer.
Do you control? Well, no, there's no vehicles. Has it been on the top 25 list?
Never. No. 2 more and a guess.
Is it a music-related rhythm game?
It's not music related or rhythm.
Um,
Although the music is pretty interesting in this game. 2 seconds.
I think I said puzzle. Is it I Expect You to Die?
It is not I Expect You to Die.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
In fact, it is a game by, and I'm pretty sure Q Games hasn't made anything else for PSVR. Dead Hungry.
That's why you said this kind of simulator. Yes,
Right, because
okay.
it has those job sim like type elements.
Right.
Yeah, and it's VRAF because you're literally doing everything by hand. You're putting every single item on the burger. You're dropping fries into the fryolator. It's
gonna ask
kind of
horror
wave shootery,
game.
but it's not a wave shooter.
That's where I was getting at, but that's a hard one.
If it makes you feel better, I was keeping an eye on the chat, and I don't think I saw anybody guess it. So I think I might have gotten everybody with this one. It was more of a pretty deep cut.
You did.
No one's talked about this game for a very long time.
Not a shit game. Not a shit game. Not a great game either, though.
Yeah, I think it gets too hard too fast, and it's too samey. Like all the environments look exactly the same, even though every level is supposed to be somewhere else. And I'm like, all right.
I was close with the kind of like job simulator, surgeon simulator. I was close. I was on the right track, but
Yeah.
dang.
I hope everyone approves of my answers. JC, the inimitable dual wielding ass kicking Gamecat says, "Dude, I got it." All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us and playing 20 questions and watching PSVR Gamescast Live. Don't forget to support me on patreon.com/withoutparolegames and AJ on Patreon at, what's your address? Patreon.com/PSVR Underground. Perfect.
Yes.
And also make sure you subscribe to AJ's channel and my channel, and make sure you like things on both of our channels, and make sure you watch things on both of our channels. Do all the things that other YouTubers tell you to do, but for us, I don't know what we're supposed to tell you. Thank you guys for hooking us up with some cash here in the chat today. Really appreciate everybody keeping the channel running, keeping the lights on. Really good stuff. Thank you to everybody who helps the channel run. Jay Meow, Sci-Fi Gamecat, Henry, all the moderators who are absolutely kicking ass, not only here, but over on Discord. Please join us on Discord. Hang out with us. Totally free to hang out. The $3 Patreon tier gets your name on that list, which I promise I will have ready for Friday, and also voice chat in Discord. We love you so very much. We also love all the people who watch the show. Don't say a goddamn word. Don't even comment in the chat. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. AJ, can I cue the cat?
Cue the cat, Brian, because I want to say have a great rest of the week and see you on Friday to lose reviews. This happy hump day. We all got humped by PSVR Underground and PSVR Without Parole. Guilty as charged. The Funkadelic Gamecat. Dan Kiefer. I'm being assaulted by snow. I must flee to Zenith. Ben Dawson. Thank you, man. Glad you enjoyed it. Just incredible. Good to see you, man. And I know you were a fan of some of the things that After the Fall accomplished. Sorry to shit all over it, but I think it's kind of deserved it. Some of it at least. $40, man. $40.
Yeah.
Neon Groove.
Not
Bettino
terrible, just not good.
Ramos. Hack the Game, Cat, Brax, Bro, and as always, in case I don't see you later, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Scott Cisco, PSN, Hairfell, PSVR Gamecat for life. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your cat, my friend. And hopefully, Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You must have saw something else funny.
I did. I didn't mean to laugh at that for sure. No, I apologize for laughing at something serious. But Larry Chu just wrote Space Game. I'm like, it always makes me laugh so hard when somebody's like 10 minutes behind the rest of us.
Larry Chu.
Oh man, Larry's so far off the game, man. He's not going to get it either.
Dorothy the Balkan Cat. You guys are awesome, man. Catastrophic flatulence in the chat. Also,
wow.
AKA formerly known as That Game Cat in the chat. JT Money, Mr. Gamecat Canaveral, Shapeshifter, good to see you. James Moore says, let's hear some metal, please. Brian, you got any metal? You got any metal ready? Come on.
Not handy. Yeah.
Defunct Braun Broda Game Cat says Peach Banana. Making lots of sexual things here with fruit. Tom Flesh Eater Gaming, much love to you too, my friend. Bob Zarkov, the Underground Game Cat, Elite Name Squad in the house. Thank you so much, my friend. Guys, you have a wow. There's some really dirty stuff going on in the chat now. Dan Kiefer, JC the
You started it, man. You started it.
Oh man, Blue Jew the Underground Game Cat, Paper Wings the Game Cat. All of y'all have a wonderful rest of the night. We'll see you Friday.
Or in Zenith. Or maybe even in after the fall. Who the fuck knows?
See you in 20 minutes.
20 minutes.